Hi, hello, and welcome to a new video. So I'm certain that everyone knows by now, considering it is currently the #1 song on global Spotify, and well, it was marketed all over social media, especially if you're into K-pop. Blackpink has returned with their new single Jump. It is the first single after 3 entire years. It's been almost 3 years since Pink Venom and Shutdown, and so was very well, both anticipated, hyped up, and also people were wary about it, especially considering some people are saying Blackpink never wants to return as a group, that they are better off as soloists, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is a review more than anything. I do not wish to participate in any hatred or controversy or what the idols don't want or do want. I do say things as they seem, but that is not the topic of this video, and unless the idol has stated something explicitly, I will not say it. So this is just Jump review as a song. I like Blackpink as a group, I like them as soloists. I reviewed entire Lisa's and entire Jennie's album on my channel, and I have listened to Rosé's and Jisoo's. I just have not reviewed them on here. So this is just another video, but let's start the review. So I will split it into 2 parts, reviewing the music video and reviewing the song itself. So let's just get the controversial part of the way, which is the music video. The music video for Jump was naturally quite talked about, and not just because it's a new music video by Blackpink after 3 entire years, after the hiatus, after basically like a military servitude, but because of complaints. First complaint was there was little to no choreo showing, and in regards to that point, I agree with what most of the Blackpink fans are saying. It is a concept in the music video that Blackpink are like a virus and infecting you with the song. This storyline is quite clearly explained. It was, yes, perhaps rushed in filming. Perhaps the reason why the storyline was made was because of budget constraints or because of time or whatever, but the storyline is still quite clear, and it sends the message of that storyline through the music video that, well, you may like it or you do not like it, that is your personal taste, but I do think objectively it sent a certain message that they intended to send. So I don't think the lack of choreography has any downsides. And yes, I do think the artistic direction is different than their usual music videos. Like, it's very different than previous Blackpink music videos. But that does not have to be a bad thing. Like, it is about time that Blackpink do try something different and something experimental. And people have been saying for years that they should try something new, get out of their shell, whatever. And whether you like it or not, this is them doing, at least dipping a toe out of it, just that. So I don't think that's a bad thing in itself. However, the second complaint is the one I believe that it has some merit. It is the fact that there was AI, more likely generative AI, used in the music video. And whether you want to argue or not, that is clearly the case. Which is not me, the disclaimer, that's not me attacking the girls. It's a fact, especially now that some of the behind the scenes have been released. Now, I've saw people, mostly Blinks, defending them on social media and pointing out the fact that the dances are real, the movement is real, there's a lot of CGI, there are a lot of practical effects, and yes, the set in the ear where the lasers are shooting out is real. The sliding and gliding and the frantic dancers in the trance is real, but that has obviously been real. Yes, helps with practical effects, but practical effects are a part of art, are a part of the music industry, and are real legitimate tools that people use to send a message. And I don't think anyone, unless they were out to hate specifically, was against that, nor did say that. However, when you see in the mere beginning of the music video, as well as those shots that span over the neighborhood, and especially in the flying scenes, and in some of the rendering of the girls, like where you can see the scenery behind the girls, you can see it's AI. It's very clear. I will put those parts of the music video on the screen so you can see that, but it is very clearly at least helped by AI. And while I do not think you need me to tell you why generative AI is bad, I assume you know, especially in arts, I will give you, however, a brief summary if you do not know, which there is no shame in not knowing. But I do strongly suggest you actually do your own research, check out some or any sources that are credible on this. I believe in general you can see people have been talking about it a lot since 2022. So in order for generative AI to work, the models that are built off code of generative AI are meant to learn, which is why they consume only in the process of learning gigabytes and terabytes of content, of arts, of music, of logic, of books, each day by day by day by day. And the process of teaching AI, one, takes a scientist that is teaching them to survey and also take in all those things, which is a problem when the AI has to learn about horrific things, and for example the Holocaust, or even worse, things that are happening right now like kidnappings or crimes, which the actual scientists do have to see hours and hours and days and days and weeks, which can create trauma and just not a pleasant work environment for someone who did not sign up to watch trauma each day. They signed up to be a scientist. But also on top of the teacher itself, AI takes gallons upon gallons of water and tons of electricity, and using it, just typing in those prompts, does the exact same thing. And on top of the environmental issue that the AI has, it's the fact that AI takes from human artists. So it is theft. It is uncredited theft. The way AI makes photos or draws, or in this case edits music videos, takes real work from real people with their own ideas, their own inspirations, and uses them uncredited, which leaves, for example, writers, videographers, CGI artists, traditional artists, digital artists out of jobs. And as I said, AI should be used if it must be used, if there is no way past it. We've passed that point in technology, for perhaps manual labor, for things that should and could not be done as efficiently by humans, for hard labor, for making lives easier, not for human passion and art, which is arguably the heart of the human spirit. Human spirit is based on being creative. That is how we invent things. That is what differentiates us from other primates. It is what makes us human, in the most simple terms explained, or in the most soulful terms explained. There are obviously biological terms to explain that, but I'm talking about soul, creativity, all of that. However, I also have a brain and do know that probably the Pinks had minimal to no input in making the music video, especially since we have been teased since February that there will be a mini album before the tour, then the mini album at the tour, then right before the tour, and we've only got a single. And I do believe the process was rushed. I think anyone can with two eyes to see that, which is why YG may have chosen to use AI. However, I don't think that is an excuse, or if it is an excuse, it's a bullshit one, because you could have just made a dance set or anything. People would eat up anything, considering there was literally no content for 2 entire years. That, when I've talked about the music video, I'm going to talk about the song itself. So my opinion on the song itself. Its criticisms are, well, in my opinion, not exactly solid. Like, obviously, yes, everyone has a right to like or dislike it. I'm not talking about that. Everyone has their own taste. I have my own taste. You may think my taste is shit, or you may think it's good. I'm not talking about that. But this is just European techno. Like, there is nothing revolutionary or particularly difficult or particularly atrocious about it. I don't understand why it sounded strange to people until I heard, well, mostly Americans on the internet saying that it sounded strange. It's not. It's just the way that European techno has sounded since the 90s. I just think your music taste does not align with that particular genre, and that's also okay. Like I said, naturally everyone has right to like and dislike, but it's a catchy enough song, and I mean, I do listen to European techno in general, so I think it's very familiar. I think it's very fun. It sounds very party-like. And also, since when did Blackpink make high value or high intellect music? Which is not to say their music has no value or low value. It is just to say that their music are mostly party songs, and that's also completely fine. Especially, I like the chorus after saying jump, the prima donna spice up your life part. I think it's very fun. I think the trumpet sounds great, and I do think the addition of a trumpet in most cases does sound great. I think the reason people are so critical of the song, I'm not talking about the music video, I explained that part, is because we were, one, promised a mini album and did not get it, and two, because anything that Blackpink would release in after 3 years of nothing would naturally be criticized, because everyone expected something different, and obviously nobody can be satisfied after 3 years of nothing. Everyone had their own expectations, their own wishes, and obviously nobody can be exactly catered to. So in general, some of the criticism has been absolutely valid, like the takes about AI, and some are just either straight up trolls, some are people, like I said, who are expecting way too much and just did not get that, and some are just attacking Blackpink because Blinks attacked their fandom or song or album first. Still, listening to the song without watching the music video, I personally do enjoy it. Like I said, Blackpink is known for making party songs and fun songs, and it is a fun single, and for once not following exactly the Teddy formula to a T, which is good because we're 10 years past 2016. But in general, that is just my opinion on the song. If you like it, dislike it, what do you think about the music video, what do you think about the situation, please write it in the comments if you want to, and thank you so much for watching.